Have you ever wondered why the value of the US dollar keeps fluctuating against the Indian rupee? For example, if you wanted to buy forex or you are simply curious about the dollar rate, then you would have searched something like this in Google, where 1 US dollar is equal to 72.45 Indian rupees. But who determines the US dollar to Indian rupee exchange rates? How are the currency exchange rates determined in the market? And why does it keep varying? See, these are some of the questions which are in your mind, and in this video we will understand who determines the exchange rate in India and how are these rates determined. Okay, so the first question is, who determines the exchange rate in India? Well, the answer is nobody. Yes, to be more precise, no single institution or organization determines the exchange rate of rupee at present, not even the RBI. Rather, the exchange rate of rupee with foreign currencies is determined by a combination of market factors. But this was not the case as always. But before that, first let us know what is an exchange rate. See, exchange rate refers to the price of a nation's currency in terms of another nation's currency. In other words, the domestic currency is expressed in terms of the foreign currency. For example, on 1st of July 2020, 1st of July 2018, imagine that the $1 was equal to 70 rupees. This means that a person can buy goods worth 70 rupees using 1 US dollar or vice versa. And this exchange rate is an important factor that determines the country's economic condition. Okay. And not only that, it actually allows the country to trade with other countries. See, imagine that when the value of the foreign currency increases, imports becomes expensive and exports becomes cheaper. Similarly, when the price of a foreign currency reduces, the imports become cheaper and exports become expensive. Therefore, a higher exchange rate can lower the country's balance of trade and a lower exchange rate can improve it. Okay, so this is a very important point from prelims perspective. And this is important. See, basically there are mainly two types of exchange rate system. One is flexible exchange rate system and another one is fixed exchange rate system. In a flexible exchange rate system, the currency's value is allowed to fluctuate according to the foreign exchange market, and there is no intervention by the government or the central bank, and it is also known as a floating exchange rate system. Okay, but in a fixed exchange rate system, the value of the currency is fixed against the value of another currency or to a gold, and this system is also known as pegged exchange rate system. Very important point. And currently India maintains a floating exchange rate system, which is a hybrid of the fixed and floating. And as we know by now, the exchange rate is very important for the growth of any country. So let us see exchange rates in the context of different regimes that India saw after independence. The period from 1947 to the present times has been divided into three parts. Okay, so the first part or the first phase is from 1947 to 1971. So during this period, India followed a fixed exchange rate system under the Bretton Woods systems. Okay, and this system was formed in the year 1944 when representatives from 44 countries met to establish an efficient and effective world monetary system. And under this system, the gold exchange standard was introduced, and the United States was to maintain the price of a gold fixed at $35 per ounce and was supposed to exchange dollars for gold at that price without restrictions or limitations. And other nations were required to fix the price of their currency directly in terms of dollars and indirectly in terms of gold. And the exchange rate could fluctuate within plus or minus 1% around the agreed par value. And remember that India was also a part of this system. Therefore, after independence in the year 1947, okay, after the independence in the year 1947, India followed par value system of exchange rate. Therefore, the Indian rupees external par value was fixed in terms of gold with pound sterling as the intervention currency. Okay, pound sterling as the intervention currency, and this kind of exchange rate is a relative fixed exchange rate system. That means it is not a rigid fixed exchange rate system. And also this is a timeline. Under the 5-year plan system which India started in the year 1950, the Indian government continuously borrowed money from foreign and private sectors. Okay, and the rate of borrowing and taking loans by the government increased to a very high rate in the year 1960. Also, the Indian government was facing a budget deficit and was not in a state to borrow more. and this resulted in the devaluation of the rupee. Alright, and this condition was further worsened due to the Indo-China War in the year 1962, Indo-Pakistan War in 1965, and the major drought which India faced during 1965 and 66, which resulted in a severe rise in prices and resulted in a high inflation. Therefore, it became mandatory to devalue Indian rupee in the year 1966. And the devaluation of rupee in 1966 in terms of gold resulted in the reduction of the par value of the rupee. But from 1966 to 1971, the exchange rate of rupee remained unchanged. And this par value system of exchange rate was followed till 1971 till the breakdown of the Bretton Woods system, post which most of the currencies adopted floating rate system. Okay. Now the next phase. So the next phase started from 1971 to 1992. So with the breakdown of the Bretton Woods system, India moved towards the pegged exchange rate system. Okay, and the Indian rupee was linked to UK pound sterling, and this pegging of currency to another country's currency results in a fixed exchange rate system, and it actually maintains stability among the trading partners. But there is a flaw. So we know that the currency peg can minimize the fluctuation, but at the same time it increases the imbalances between the countries. Therefore, in the year 1975, rupee was pegged to a basket of currencies. Okay, it was pegged to a basket of currencies, and this was done to ensure the stability of rupee and avoid weakness associated with a single currency peg. And you all know this one. During 1990 and 1991, India faced a major BOP crisis, balance of payment crisis. And you also know that the Soviet Union was an important trade partner of India since 1960s. And as the Soviet Union started to crack in the year 1980s, India's exports went down rapidly. Also due to the Gulf crisis in the year 1990, the price of crude oil increased. And these are few reasons that led to the BOP crisis in the year 1991. And as our exports to Soviet Union declined rapidly and the prices of imports, that is crude oil, increased, India faced BOP deficit. That is, exports were much less than the imports, and this led the country to near bankruptcy. Therefore, India was forced to borrow money from the IMF, International Monetary Fund, against the country's gold reserves. And remember one thing, the crisis of 1991 did not develop overnight. It is believed that the roots of this crisis in India developed during 1979 and 81, and during that period India suffered a severe drought as well as the global oil shock, which was caused by the Islamic Revolution in Iran. And as a result of this BOP crisis, foreign exchange reserves had fallen to low levels that were not enough to pay even for a month of imports. Okay, so that was the condition. And then the policymakers discussed various ways to deal with the crisis that eventually led to the liberalization of the economy. And one way to deal with the situation was devaluation of the rupee. And devaluation means a decrease in exchange rate. So this leads to an increase in exports, and hence the inflow of foreign currency increases. Therefore, on 1st July 1991, as a part of its daily adjustment to the currency, RBI decreased the exchange rate by 9%, and 2 days later, that is on 3rd July 1991, it pegged down by another 11%. And in an article in the Indian Express on 10th November 2015, C. Rangarajan, he was the then Deputy Governor of RBI, explained that this move was planned and well documented, and the project was codenamed as Hop, Skip and Jump. Just try to remember this one. With this, the pegged exchange rate system ended and India moved towards a market determined exchange rate. So now the next phase is 1992 till now. So we have seen that there was a two-step devaluation of rupee in the year 1991 by the RBI, which ended the pegged exchange rate system and marked the beginning of the market determined exchange rate. Okay, and the liberalized exchange rate system, we call it as LERMS, LERMS, was introduced to ease the transition from one system to another, and LERMS began from March 1st, 1992. And under this system, rupee was made partially convertible. And this partial convertibility of rupee is known as dual exchange system. Okay, and since India was going through a period of deficit, it was risky to impose full convertibility of rupee, and LERMS was set up to boost the foreign exchange earnings to improve the balance of payment. and RBI made foreign exchange available at a low price, and hence it was used for essential imports like crude oil. All other imports were financed at the market based exchange rate. And since LERMS was only a transitional mechanism, it was removed in the year 1993 and the market exchange rate system was introduced, called as Unified Exchange Rate System, or UERS. That means that the 60 to 40 ratio was removed and 100% of the foreign exchange receipt was now converted at the market based exchange rate. Also in the year 1994, the current account was made fully convertible. Thus, when the rupee became a floating currency, the current account of India was made fully convertible, but the capital account was only partially convertible. This was done to protect the domestic market from foreign competition. Since most of the developed countries have fully convertible capital accounts, India is also planning to move towards it. So, these are the phases of exchange rate systems in India. So again the question is, how are the currency exchange rates determined in India? See, we already seen that no single authority or institution sets the exchange rate in India. India has a floating exchange rate. India has a floating exchange rate system where the exchange rate of the rupee with another currency is determined by market factors such as supply and demand. For example, if the demand for US dollar increases in the forex market, the value of the dollar will appreciate. And sadly, this is the current situation in India, as more goods are imported to India from the US than exported to US from India. And the local Indian traders need to pay for the imported goods in US dollars itself. Okay, they have to pay in US dollars. Therefore, they buy US dollars by exchanging it for the rupee, which increases the demand for US dollar again, and it helps it to appreciate with respect to the rupee. And apart from supply and demand, there are some other factors that are widely agreed as being the driving forces determining the exchange rate of a currency, such as inflation of the country, interest rate or repo rate, level of current account deficit, import and export of gold, the amount of public debt, and the stability and economic growth. Okay, so this is all about the exchange rate system in India. And if you like these videos, then please like, share and subscribe. Thank you.